Let's go surfing now. Everybody surfing now. Come on, everybody surf with me. Come on, everybody. What is mind line setting of surf? What is the surf position location of track line? What is the surf line connection operation line? Surfacing is surfacing in position locations of surface. Recognition line calculation operation line setting. All calculations to its balance position. All line calculations to its alignment setting. It's all in set locations inside of you. Okay. Communications, all sideline connections, all levels of data, all position operation, all levels of signal, all line connections of wave settings, central calculation streams. It's all connected to set locations. Understanding the mind is understanding you have an imagination. So if you understand that there's a computer in front of you, you should be able to expand the mind. There's no coincidence, again, that your computer at the top, position locations, is F to F12. It's no coincidence that your connections to your clock has 12 signals, adaptations of 12 line connections, of interlaced line connections, intercept locations of interline calculations to pi. 4 seconds per frame. 4 seconds per frame. Okay? That's 5-second channel lines and position locations into all calculation of acceleration of vortex, all through your connections to your watch. We have to understand that our imagination is given back to us. So if it's given back to us, we should know exactly how to use it. So if you know how to use the positions of the hardware and understand the adaptation of the mind, is the imagination to its collaboration setting, which is the exploration location to its calculations. All set system and position inside connection. Right? So again, going beyond is not seeing beyond. Seeing beyond is the record location of space and time, of pi. Like I said, you don't look at my hand, you look at me because I'm behind. So I'm in front, I'm in back, and I'm inside. I'm up and down and around all at once. So you don't just see this, you see everything around. Okay? So we have to find a way to use the imagination and go beyond recognition of GOD. The geometric operation of these directions of its design, of the construct line condition of its level, adaptation location. Okay? So we're coming into 60 line settings of 4. Solar line condition high setting. That's why you guys are in position location, your stomachs are sore, right? It's all in recognition location of foundation. Your watch can tell you exactly if you're going to be sick or not. Bet you didn't know that, did you? Multipass. So it's recognizing time in position locations. Time in position locations, all through frame. There's 12 central lines of pi. Okay? You have to learn how to use it through location at high setting. All through frame. 12 lines, 24 grounds, 48 windows, 72 computers, and 144 crystal grid setting is a computer operation of CPU set location. That is your foundations of 12. That is never, ever going to leave your side. But everything that you communicate with is trying to recognize you through scanning. Are you in your 12 DNA? Are you in your 24 DNA? Are you in your 48? Are you in your 72? Are you in your 144? Which DNA are you in? 144, 244, 344. It's all calculation system and all levels of the mind adaptation of subterranean calculations, subconscious mind conditions. Okay. Your altered state is how you see yourself through vibration of communication of data, uploading, downloading, uplinking, and upgrading settings. What does that all mean? And again, you're transmitting and receiving information system, right? Electrical line interference lines, a box line position of 5 line channels, operation locations, 1 in thumb and 4 in seston. Line calculation setting, set position attraction. Open through signal. Set position, release position, line connection. Operation system. Try to understand. Your inner child is trying to understand you. It's all level setting. It's the inner child development location of spiritual adaptive location of the mind setting, which is all operation locations. Going beyond at everything, what a finger is. What are fingers? What are thumbs? What is my hand? What is my watch used for? What are my glasses used for? How do I connect with my hair? What do I do with my hat? How do I understand how to use my eyes? How do I understand how to use my ears? My ears are ringing. What does that mean? My eyes are sore. What does that mean? My face is twitching. What does that mean? Everything is communication. Because you don't understand direct signals inside location you're setting. You don't understand the adaptation of what your hand is and what it's used for, because it's all levels of vibration locations inside locations. You are in the control setting. You control the outcome. You don't force the outcome, you control the outcome. Especially when you come into all line calculations of communications, two set line settings. Okay? So it's important you understand that all position. All right, so we're going to the 28 setting. First, we got to get into 64. 60 lines of calculation of 4 lines of pi represents set location, high line of box line, position of triangulation, new Merkabah, test right location of binary line position. All right, SAM calculations, all levels of Andy, all position locations. Remember, guys, everything through all calculations of 1 to 60 is position locations into foundation of 12. That's never going to leave your side. That's where you have to really understand how to use it through structure, because everything is connected to its own DNA, of its own dimension, of its own space at the time of pi. Okay. All right. Geneva, Heather, calculation center, Gypsy, position locations, all levels of Prismar, Tina, Janelle. It's great to see everybody. Happy smiles. Happy Monday. We got a lot going on. We need a lot to understand in set position, locations to its position line setting. So what it is you're trying to get into a vision of a story. So it's kind of like you're the inner child and you're going through a story, which is a film of you. And you're doing this every single day until every single day becomes the same day, different vibration. Then you realize, wow, this is not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, or Sunday. This is the same day. This is interesting. So all I'm doing, if it's the same day, you're adding frames in the same day, same equation, different vibration, different frames, different correlation, different balance, different communication setting, different data, different line signals, different adaptation, okay? Different manifestations. Your thoughts are traveling very, very fast. Knowing how fast they're traveling is knowing exactly what's going on with your moon. Operation system. Your moon is going so fast, so fast, so fast. It's spinning so fast, so fast, so fast. But your imagination is trying to catch up. Why is your imagination trying to catch up? Because you're not understanding the circulation rotation to their moon setting locations, all levels of digital line calculation, right? So imagination is understanding how to use you as a frame, how to use as a story. So when you're walking and you're talking, you're communicating with yourself or somebody else. So in that position locations, you're walking, somebody comes in the frame. Oh, there's a dog, right? Walking, right? Somebody just came in frame. Then you walk by or you talk to the dog. So what you're doing is you're adding the image. You're adding a position location of directions of manifestations. The vision becomes more a video. You're scanning. And when you're scanning these things, you're picking these things up through vibration. Okay? Recognition, line connections, all levels of code setting. So in that position locations, Trinity, Guardian, Chris. All right. Johnny. All right, so here we go. Block location settings and position location. Start with this. What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? Go beyond. What do you see? Face, nose, mouth, chin. Face, nose, mouth, chin, 2 intelligent lines in a box line. See? Going beyond. Go beyond. So once you understand the recognition, line connection, face recognition, time setting, set position locations, set position, set position. There you go. 2 intelligence communicating. Right? Let's go for the line cross stream. The recognition location settings. Directing signal. See? 2 intelligence. See? 2 face recognition line centers of box line connections. All set position location and frame. See? There's the chin. There's the nose. Hoo-ah. See? That's what it is. Going beyond recognition, line connection, line system. I don't draw these things. It's already drawn itself. Mechanical line center line is 0 line rotation interference and track location of 12 line settings. Right? Changes the frame. Changes the structures. Changes the correlation setting in position location, high setting, and circle location position of 4 set locations. Recognition line calculation system in position location, high setting position. Changes everything. So that's what you're doing. You're changing your thoughts every second, 60 seconds, 60 line setting, setting line, interference line, position location in 60 minutes, position location 1 minute, and 1 track location. Perception over pi, perceptions under pi, perceptions underscore over pi, position location, line connections, box line, interference location, high line, and position location, track line connections, high setting. It's all recognition location of time. So let's get into position locations. 7, line position of 6, line position of 4, 3 set location of 2. All right, so 1, 1, 1, 1, block location setting, into 0, line position location, into question mark, 3 waving pattern line position, and triangle set location, and percentage high set locations, all levels of 3 set line condition of 0 in position location. Now, you understand that, right? So the 1 line setting, this is a crossword puzzle. You circle it, right? Crosswords, right? So you take the 1, the 1, the 1, the 1, which is a 4 graph streamline, into moon operation. Okay, so you understand the 4 lines of 1 in position locations into 4 measures. 4 equals locations of pi instead of location. 4 equals pi because it's 4 line settings of 1s. So recognizing communication is all levels of high setting, breaking things down in position locations into panels, in track locations, in position. Okay, breaking it down, right? So in 3 set location setting, recognition time set location is understanding what is 3, what is percentage, what is triangle, what is 3 waving patterns in position. What does it all mean? Well, it's all recognition line conditions of 3 set line conditions in position of triangulating line interference, location of 6 over 7, position of 8, position of 9, 2 in line interference, change that position of the box, position location of triangle, triangle line position location of box, line interference, box locations of pi, recognition high line condition, high setting, put a 3 waving cycle of set location, high center interference, 4 equals line conditions of pi. Done by equation, right? The recognition line conditions are levels of 6 and position of 4. So the imagination is the phenomenon. You have to understand how to use your frames in your alphabetical set location or keyboard phrase. You have to come into keyboard interface to the moon. Moon operation to set location. That's your moon. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 panels line setting into 1 pyramid set location setting. Center graph line rotations in position locations at 3 measures. All right. Recognition line calculation system to its intelligent location. There's the intelligence. See? There's intelligence in everything that you do. So you're the inner child of everything that you do. Multipass. You have to be in every frame, every single frame. So my inner child is here, right there. The eyes, the nose, the mouth. Everything has to be face recognition. So your planet or anything through your moon or your sun will understand you through location. This is a pyramid line setting. Set location to 3 set location settings to all set locations. Setting direct locations to a diamond core setting. Setting line interference and position location all levels of another line of triangulation line conditions to another plateau line position location calculations. It's all set in position. All right. So you have to recognize these things through face recognition. To understand your space and time through pi is to understand you in all formation location, if you identity location, your avatar site location, identification. Identification is number 1. You have to identify yourself to everything that you see, everything you do, everything you taste, everything you wear. This is new technology set location. Computer adaptation line centers is CPU line interference, or anything through nano set location settings. Recognized in communication light signature pattern line position location. Electrical sockets and set locations. Right? You have to be touching position location on exactly what is the identification, then you're fine. See? I can cross it now. Because it didn't recognize me. And once it recognizes you, you're balanced. But if it doesn't, it sets electrical line condition, electrical line, and line rotation interference location, electricity, high center line, position location, your body's line interference location of nerve. Sets direct location, high center location to placebo cortex location settings in locations to your cerebral. Center and cortex line condition opposite locations that off centers line communication system of virus that sets position location all levels. Opposite track line communication system of an infusion. Just location. So we all have to understand all this line calculation and face recognition. How it changes frames. So moon side line of 6 line position of 4 line centers of 3, instead location in positions back in 6 line crosses line setting, half pipe position location, high center interference, sets position. Sun is in calculation to its position on standby. There's the sun, there's the moon. All right, so sun's waiting on set location, setting and position. See? Travel position, travel position, travel position, travel position. 4 set locations. All right. Now the 4 sets line, center line interference comes into all position. Now change position, we can track lines, setting direct signals in position of sonar, recognition line condition high setting. 1 line connections in 1 strip, setting position of triangulation in set location setting, recognition line calculation to separation location and moon setting, operation signals in a gamma sigma in an line position location and triangulation setting, operation signals to the point set location of atom in the 3 set location center and direct location interference. Done by equation. Setting geometry line interference, operational signals and high line interference of 6 line connection operation location. Put the team line center ultron calculations into set location nano settings, recognition line position locations, high setting, triangulation, triangulation, triangulation. So we're setting geometry locations into 6 position and 4 into a new moon set line position transformation line communication system, avatar line setting into clock line rotation in position of traction. All right. So taking line conditions of 3 in position of 6. Now 6 over 7, 7 position of 8 line setting line interference. So that's 8 position location, 8 position location, high lines, 8 position location, infinity line rotations, 3 line rotation of 6, that's position location 7. 7 line, 3 lines of 3, 3, 3, so that's line position. Bracket interference, equal line condition of 7, 7 line position location, equal line condition of 5. Sets lines of 12 DNA and track location, 7 line position location. All right. So try to understand how this all works inside location settings. Motional track lines and motion line in rotation position locations, alpha line channels, in position of delta, line calculation setting, setting graph lines and underground line set. Okay, triangulation position of the moon set locations. So we're putting the adaptations of the moon in a structure line in an avatar line setting, 12 million set locations into another geometric shape operation, putting the pieces of puzzles to set location through motion line connections. Setting the high center line position of alpha, delta, line position of 7, center calculation system, 3 over lines, 3 over pi, 3 sector line calculations of vector, line position of 12, line position of 24, recognition line calculation of travels, line position locations into 8 in set locations, setting 8 in triangulation of 3 set location settings. 1 in signal line condition of 0, that has to be a 0 line rotation. 0 line 0, 0, 0 is 4 line setting in position of equal lines of 6. 6 in position, half pipe line setting, moon line rotation into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in set location setting. Setting direct line signals in set locations, because as a line communication, as to more line rotation interference, you're going to be in 65 positions. Now, in set location high setting, we're going to put you into 28 set locations. So 28 line setting, line interference locations into 3, in position of 6 into 9 line setting, triangulation line calculation. Now, the 2 line setting lines interference line locations into 2, 2, 2, bracket locations into 2, 2, into line condition of box, and position location into 3 set location of triangle. Setting direct triangle line in position of 2 into 2 in line communications into another line setting into a circle line communication. Recognition line calculation is its positions to its pyramid set line connection. High center line in position comes into higher calculations to its magnetic highway information line setting. Recognition of line position of 2 line rotation surface, setting direct location of 6 in line conditions into 4, 64 line conditions, solar streams lines into 12 DNA line calculations, security of the perimeter line rotations back into 2 set position. Open signal line position of another ground line rotation circuits, another line rotation interference, in set position location, high setting, interact location setting. Recognition line calculation system sets all position location to 3, 6, 9, 6 over 7, 7 in position of 8, 8 in position of 9, and 12 in central calculation set position. Down by equation. All right. Setting measures. A correlation hemisync. Recognition on quadrant line setting, rotation interference, setting direct location settings. Really understand how to use position locations. Now you got 28 set lines and set locations into 3 measure into 3 sets, 3 sets into 3 locations. Heart, mind, and soul. Always heart, mind, and soul in the moon set. So the 20 line centers in 2 lines. In position of 8 line is infinity. So that's infinity in position to ID identification set lines calculation, right? So inline center line interference, 2 recognizes 3, 2 recognizes 3, and 2 recognizes 3 into 3 graph line setting the solar graph line position of alpha data. Setting line rotation interference into 3 set locations, into 3 measures, into 3 calculation line setting. Calculus over pi in 2 sets, 3 sets, 4 and 5 set locations. Setting direct signals into panel operational line direct location settings. Operation signals to its sun position weighting on signal. Sun is here, moon is there in direct locations. Done by equation. Okay, echo interference. Now, echo line, center line interference, position location, video graph lines. Rotation surface. So you got alpha, zeta, set locations. Okay, sigma is a line condition of 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 set location. All right. Now, understanding the directed location of the moon sets position locations high setting into center calculation. There's the moon. Now, the moon understands the zeta, understands the systematic line operation to its opening to its high set locations of its operation line settings into all calculation setting. Recognition line and graph lines into sonar and position echo chamber set locations into wave set calculations to human resonance. 1 position 2, position 3. Okay, so that's 3 line settings and vibration locations in alpha set location. Down by equation. All right. Okay, so motional track line interference is really recognizing the interface location of triangulation. Triangulation of 3 sets. It's 3 set lines of 6 in position of 7 in position of 8, 9 in top set location. So 9 equals lines of 0. Recognize location of 0 comes into line and it's a negative or positive position locations. All right. So the 7 comes into line conditions, equal line conditions of another 6 lines, another half pipe position locations. So this opens up channels and line communication of moon setting, operation to the sun on set location. Your sun is on standby set line conditions, sun and the moon. Right? That's where we set up another sail. Indirect line signal. Now, a direct line signal is recognition locations of its 8 central line calculations and 8 circle line communication set line high setting. Indirect location of signal. Setting sigma, channels, operation, alpha, delta, theta, beta, mega, line calculations at theta, line calculations into 3 box line setting, into 6 box line setting, into 9 box line position, 9 in rotation, 6 in position, and 3 in set location setting. Done by equation. All right. So it's very complicated if you don't understand the formulas of the moon set, how it comes into all calculations to sector and vector, right? That's set up position locations. So there's so many channel operation line settings. So when you come into number frequency patterns, line position locations, you come into 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 in position of 2, 8, 7, 6, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 5, 5 and 7 line. And so I'm going to show you how it's set. This is how I set up the moon line conditions, your sectors and vectors. 6 over line position of 8, 9 line setting to 10 and 11 locations into 12 set location conditions of DNA set location line settings. Again, 1000 line conditions, 200 units in position locations. That's 200 line rotations and position locations into vector over pi in set location setting. Okay, so your moon is in operation. Here's your moon. That's your moon, right? 12 central line setting, species line. 0 in gravity, 0 operation, 0 in surface, and 0 in calculation, right? 2 in set lines, 8 in channel, 1 in line setting of 7 position of 6 activation streams. Setting position of 5 over pi, 7 over score, 0 operation, 0 in high setting, and 0 in position. High calculation of 6 in position, 8 in line setting, 9 in energy wash, 10 in solar connections, high setting and family relation, 11 in solar system, and 12 in DNA track location. Done by equation, right? So, coming into sectors, lines of pi, recognitions into SCAR, vector SCAR, right? So vector SCAR line setting, vector locations, vector SCAR, set position location into parameters, and 2 atom line rotation interference position. Recognition line calculation system into 3 set locations into 3 panel line settings. High direct signals in line communication and 4 waving position locations. Reckoning locations on clock lines and set location. High center location of security line perimeters and position. Line connections UFO, okay, scan position, sets lines into triangulation set line communication. High track line center line interference of 24,000 grounds, 48,000 windows, 72 and 144 into 244 in vector of center calculations of dimensional portals of pi calculation, done by equation. All right. So to understand the vector is to understand the sectors of position. So it gets more interesting when you really understand the I-center calculations to your sets. So if you're getting line communication, like I said, if you get a calculations of CAT and set locations to all set locations of CAT and set locations of C, calculation line interference of CAT set locations, you're getting confusion, right? How many CATs in that location, right? So you get CAT. All right, CAT is one set location, right? You got CAT in a cross line center line in position, right? So it's CAT, right? So getting in position location of CAT, your circle location, there's a crossword setting, right? So CAT, okay? So you go CAT. So CAT is set locations, it's set line calculations, right? So it's all opposite of a tactic use set location setting. It's all reckoning communications all levels. An anagram interference line connection comes into a measured correlation system of scale set line calculation setting and position of balance. So you really have to understand in the location system. If I'm going to send you something to how, right? We start off location setting. We start with the how, right? This is how. Now I want to send that through code to you, right? So that would be X, Y, Z. X, Y, Z is how, right? Recognition of X, line position locations, and all setting. Y is the calculations of Y factor in position, and Z is the Z line force in set location setting. So it stays in mediation. How? Setting signals into a monotone is the same frequency pattern. That's how you recognize, and that's how you break down codes when you break these things down in position locations, step by step, right? So how is a representation of X, Y, and Z? You should already know that through the mind as it's sending you data. So that's how you come into X, Y, Z through an anagram. You put words together, right? You mix it up, you put it together, line connections. It's like chemistry, right? It's like all position location of a quiz, understanding that quiz location of its crossword puzzle to understand how to put the words together into its sentence of its frame to its structure location of its image. That's how it comes into all set locations, into your brain. Your brain is an interpretation, okay, to analyzing, to detection, modification, correlation, balance, signatures, okay? Understanding how to get into codes is on how to break the codes. If I send you a message of XYZ, you know exactly it means how, because I'm sending you the same frame. If I change the vibration locations, I change the XYZ to OSC. Okay, so you're always protecting set locations in your settings. Every time you set a code, you have to understand what it is and how to represent your system location as protecting its set location. If a Z line to an X line to a T line, okay? ZXT, what does that mean? right? What does it mean? It's a 3-line signature line communication system. So indirect line signals and high standard line interference, that's 3-line positions to measure. Okay. Now, it's understanding how to use the measure through 6, which is half pipe of set locations into portal of communication in set location settings. Right? So in that calculation line interference, the Z line comes into all levels, the X line comes into channel, and position of T comes into travel of position locations into telegraphing line standing location, high setting, and high position. Very complicated stuff. This is very high rise into UFO line setting. So getting into lower gravity line rotation interference in set locations into an anagram line calculation setting is all about understanding how to surface that position like a next-generation system. You have Q, right? And this is a clock of Q. So the Q comes into, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 equals pi at position location in a rotation surface location setting. All right? So this is how you have to really understand the init and line calculations to its increments. You come into position location and track lines into prime numbers. So it's interesting to look at your watch and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4. And then the 5 is its RPM, which is set location. So that's 1, 2, 3. So that's 3, right? So that's 3 over 6. That's 6 in position over 9, and 9 in position locations into 10 in line conditions into positive over negative, which is 12 of D and H set locations. There's my watch going through 0 to 12 in set locations through pi of 6. So if you understand how to use your clock, you understand how to use it through codes. So you can actually look at your watch and know exactly not just what time it is, but you can understand the 4 seconds frames. Each second is a 4-second frame and 60 seconds per minute per channel per square. Recognition line calculation system. Why is there 12? Why isn't it 13? Why doesn't your watch have 13? Because there's no time existence in set location of 13 setting. It's in 12 because that's a balance. Because if it was 13, it'd be 26 grounds instead of 24. See, there's a reason why there's a sequencing pattern. Position of 12 lines in a 12 location. 12 line centers of 12 is 24. That's why you don't have a clock of 13. Doesn't make any sense because it'd be 26 and your body fragmentation lines, a defrag line calculation system, would be off calculation, right? So it's very important to understand why you have a 24 ground setting into a 6 of a pi recognition of time set location. This is very high rise. But to determine what your watch is all position locations and how you use it through pi. Because you have seconds on channel. So once you understand the 0 to 9, then you understand the 9 to 3, which is 12, right? That's 9 over 3 over pi. That's high position locations of identification to your manifestation all through a watch of signal location settings, indirect location setting interference, through its interface position of pi. Okay? But it's very powerful when you get in your 12 DNA set locations. Okay? Through a clock or a watch. Right? Everything is space of time of pi through its clock. Same with codes. Recognizing communication of code settings. All set location to its high position location, higher levels U in clock line setting. You get a clock line at 12, in position location of 24, in position locations of 48, in position location of 72. Where's your position locations? All in 12, 24, 48, and 72. Flux capacitor. Multipass. See? There's the flux capacitor position. See? I turn all 4 clock lines into 1. Flux capacity line conditions to its planet. Hooah! See? Recognizing line conditions of 12 to 24. There you go. Light bulb. There's the light bulb. See? See how it works? Everything. See the intelligence? See the eye central lines? See the intelligence? You're always in intelligence. Always in intelligence and frame. So we all have to learn how to use the 24 line setting. Really try to understand what your watch is. It's not just telling time. Okay. So I'm just showing you on so many ways and forms how you can come into position location of codes and how you centralize your setting locations, but you have to learn how to decentralize your communications to your set locations into your system. Okay, because you have to recognize all set locations. Because your computer has a keyboard, right? Has a keyboard, right? And each keyboard has what? 12 setting. Recognize communications. Now, in recognizing the line calculation system, why is there 12 months in a year? Why do you have a set location line connection system? Your clock line centered at 12 line position. 12, 24 in set locations of 36. Set of 36 line calculation systems of pi in recognition. That's 36 fields of operation. That's 3 over lines of 6 of position locations and all levels of dimensional time set location setting. So we all have to understand our positions to our month, our positions to our days, our years, our fractions, our calculations, our modifications, our division, our sectors, our vectors, and our quadrant location settings in offset location of clocking. Okay. You're working with the seconds, not the minutes, not the hours. So try to understand that you're doing this all at once in the same day. I just showed you 4 clockings into a flux capacitor. How I take 4 clocks to turn it into a flux capacitor. Okay, so you're taking 4 clocks into 1. 26 letters into 1. Numbers, shapes, symbols into 1. One number. All timelines, all at once. Male, female, 1. 1 plus 1 equals 3. 1. Everything is correlation of 1. Yin and yang. So if you understand that, then you understand all levels of codes. Recognition calculations to code weaving. Two and vector line centered sky grid line connections. So I have 2 fingers up, but it's going through skyline rotation of a circle. So that's 2 lines and set locations into a V line rotations into a box line in position location to measure. It's all through travel. So we all have to understand how to use the letters, numbers, and shapes and symbols through manifestation of abundance. See, the imagination is there for you in the taking. You just have to understand how to use it through modification because it's there for you every single day. It's there, it's not there, it's always there. So that it appears, it disappears, and reappears. And it's always in that position of its appearance. So getting into that calculation system is simultaneously living everything all at once in one position of directions, taking 4 line settings and set locations and 4 box location settings, right? You take the 4 lines in one line, you put the 4 boxes location set and position locations, and this is what you get in 4 set location. A complete cycle of a video frame set as simulation. So we all have to learn how to basically do these things through your phenomenal set location of channel. All right. Now, because the moon is set up now, it's in a rotation spin. That's connected to the alphabetical. That's connected to your keyboard frame line, setting line, specification, your scanning lines of 24 million face recognition timeline settings. You have to understand your moon is always in operation of its intelligence. Always has a face. Always. You have a face, so does everything else. That's intelligence. You don't want to step on the intelligence. Okay? When you start recognizing face recognition line connections to a wall or anything through a sky grid or anything the ground setting, there's so many face recognition location settings. And every time you step on a face recognition line connections, you're connecting to its setting through its own intelligence of operation without identifying your setting first. That's why it's so important to scan these things. Every second in position. Not the minutes, not the hours, not the days. You're in position location of 0 to 9 set locations now. 3 over line setting in position of 12 into high set location is your DNA. You're working with that process every single time in set position to your nature set locations, but you're always, always, always in intelligence position locations and set location setting. Always intelligence, always facing recognitions. 4 line setting line position location, flux capacitor. Travel position locations, open operation to its dimensional line setting. Set location, higher level position locations of portal set locations. Travel communication in set locations into center line calculation, right? So you're always in the center operation of zero gravity, zero interference, 0 grounds, 0 operation system, 0 computer operation line calculation setting. If you get a block line and you get 1, 1, 1, 1 in set location of 0, 0, 0, 1 in position of 0, in position of 0, and you get a 2, and you get a 3, and you get a 4, and you get a 5, and you get a 6 line calculation setting, you have to understand what it is. So you understand the 1, 1, 1, 1 in one line position location is 1 equal location of grounds, right? 1 equals grounds, right? 0 operation is 0 gravity location of crop circle, right? In set locations. Now 6 is position of your throat in set location setting and high setting. Line communication 0 gravity and rotation surface. 0 gravity into 0 operation. A 0 line calculations, a 0 location. That's 3 set location settings in the crop circle location setting, line position location to travel position locations. Line communication into 1 line is 1 line equal line conditions of 2 lines of 1 line rotation interference. Equal line conditions to its velocity, line conditions of pi, high set location setting. Recognition line calculation setting. So I'm showing you exactly how everything is code frequency and line positions to your moon set in a block line surface in locations of 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 6, 0, 0, 0, 1, 5, 4, 3, 0, 2. Recognition location, high set position attraction. All through computer adaptation. Okay, through moon setting. So this is very complicated, but it's a lot more fun. Complicated is good. Complicated is great. Complicated is accomplishment. Complicated is fantastic. Complicated is amazing. So changing the complicated to amazing to fantastic is putting you a direct signal to a silver lining of a calculation setting to put yourself back into positive location. Okay? It's not about easy complicated. It's about complicated easy. So really try to change the frame set line condition in system because your moon is now in 64 line settings. This setting direct location is solar graph line calculations into 28 measure in position of percentage line calculation and interference that comes in position locations of mind over matter in set location setting into your emotional line communication in its operational line setting into its moon operation locations. Okay? That's the importance. You have to understand how powerful we are when we come into all calculation setting interference. It's recognizing general AI spacetime. What is general? What is AI? What is spacetime? Well, I know what spacetime is. I know what AI is, and I know what general means. And I know what this symbol means. That's enough to know through all levels of a pyramid set location. Recognizing what you're wearing is line communication of its intelligence. To understand each letter is a representation of you inside the position of tranquil. Okay, the generosity, the energies, the new, okay, the energize, the relays, the atmospheres, the levels, general, can be anything, information of anything calculation. Same with AI. A is a representation of atmosphere, awareness of its intelligence, of its information. Space and time is all calculations of yin and yang. That's how I see it through process. That's how I see it through manifestation. That's how I see it through my intention. How do you see it through your positive locations? Everything is positive. There's not negative in anything. And that's what you don't understand of mind adaptation system. It's all position of balance, guys. Truly understand how to use it in all calculation and code settings. Recognition its position locations. Right? So getting into that setting is all about understanding how to use it in all ways and forms inside position. Okay? Coming in all position locations into 2 box locations of all calculations. Now, how many boxes do you see? How many boxes is there? Right? Some people say they see 2. Some people say they see 3, right? Well, how many boxes are there? It's all in your intention. right? It's on your attention. Okay. Now I see 1, 2, 3, right? There's 3 boxes there, right? So that's 3 equal line continuous of box over pi. Okay. And that's how you get manifestation. All right. So that's 3 sets line calculations in 1 panel. Recognition line calculation systems in position of 2 panels. There is a cube. See the cube? Now, how many triangles do you see? You see? You go beyond everything that you can imagine set location setting. Okay? So understanding the cube line interference line, position location of grounds, in position of sides, in position up, in position of sides, and set locations into corners, inline communication setting, indirect location, and its interference position location and high setting. How to use it in all position to its plasma location. Right? And again, there's the intelligence. Okay. There's the nose, there's the eye, and there's the mouth. Everything I do is intelligence of me. Because it doesn't make any sense, because the inventory is not setting position locations unless my face recognition is everything that I do through the mind of travel. So you're always, 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 always going to see face recognitions in your structures of design. Always. Whether you don't understand it or not, but that's how intelligence works inside of you. You see everything of face recognition identification. This is the intelligence that you have to be aware of. This is the stuff that you don't see, that you come across, what you can see now, especially when you have higher level calculations in its position location or direction locations into set lines of its provision. Okay. So remember that everything that you're doing, it's you traveling through, but the mind is in the conception locations of its knowledge, of its intelligence, of what it's doing. It's trying to understand the intention. What are you doing? You're putting out energy, the vibration, the frequencies, the harmonics. You put it all together. You got a structure of a design of GOD, of intelligence, of its formation, of its alliance. What do you want to do with it? What is your intention? How do I understand this? How do I understand that? Am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? No. There's no right or wrong in any position locations. The only right or wrong is what you do with interpretation. If you're saying negative line interference in track locations, what are you saying to your body inside position? You're off signaling your calculations, you're off roguing your line calculation interference, or anything through avatar setting. Everything that you say is determination what happens next inside of you through your body of capacity. Do you understand that? I want to make it very well clear what is going on with you, with your body, with your moon. Right, General, I need a scan. Why do you need a scan? What's going on with you? I don't know. Well, where is in the position location that's hurting your setting? Let's start there, right? And so understanding where the adaptation of it is really understanding the recognized system inside location. What is going on with your body set location setting? How do you feel in provision, right? My eye keeps twitching. What does that mean? Right? You have to understand these things. Staying focused is always being focused, because now you understand the adaptation to its acceptance. You're accepting, you're adapting, and you're moving on. If you're not accepting, adapting, and moving on, you're moving backwards, right? There's no negative in anything. I'm sorry, guys. There's no negative in anything. It's your determination how you use your mind. It's how you perceive things in your life. So if you want to box position locations and you want to stay in the center operation location line settings, you're lost. You got to understand how to mutate and form into anything and come outside and out of the box line calculation setting in all direct location system, in all direct line settings, into data form position locations, in all line communication into evolution setting. That's what you come. It's not just the center operation locations. You're connected to everything through line setting. So it's coming out of the box into the mind of imagination. So it's set line specifications. Now, line communication. These are atom lines, rotations, and triangle settings. So what I'm doing is I'm putting pieces and puzzles together, locations of a triangle to a box location. Now, the triangle line center line position location is another box location setting. setting direct locations into a triangle line center line interference, setting direct locations to opposite locations to another rectangle set locations, setting a rectangle to another position locations to a Merkaba setting, setting redirect line settings to another triangle set line connection system, in position location another triangle line center line interference, into another triangle line communication system, all position locations to its intel line setting, into future updated locations to my intelligence. See me in intelligence set locations, all levels of box. Do you see what you're trying to do? Is you're trying to go outside, inside and outside through inner and outer core line rotation interference. Try to recognize communicational levels of position locations of expansion to set location setting. Setting direct locations into triangulations in position of box, in position locations on levels of triangle set locations, into another triangle line center line interference, and another triangle line communication, another triangle line position locations to all set locations, into a Merkaba set location done by equation. There's the intelligence. Through map seek location of AI. Okay? So it's very powerful when you guys just let go and let yourself flow. Flow your mechanism lines and location of travel. Really understand how to use an all provision. But what you're doing is you're setting up map sequence locations of patterns, geometric line conditions, high settings in all set locations, your set locations of your mind. You're releasing everything of set locations. Keeping yourself balanced is understanding the imagination to its phenomenon. Know exactly what you're creating through its intelligence. But if you look really close, you can see me in set location. Right? Don't look at this, look at me. And then you see the intelligence. It's like an abstract. And I keep saying that. It's like a painter basically has a museum. Okay? And he's putting all his pictures up. And everybody that comes by is seeing something so amazing, but don't understand anything. But the artist understands what it is because he has its adaptation of its intention of what he co-created. See? That's the mystery of your universe that nobody will understand. Okay? Your universe is a mystery inside of you. It's knowing how to use it. And always informs, and feel free to give it to somebody in set locations through its intention in a good way. Keep your cycles, line condition, your force recognition lines, and your energy fields in protection. Be careful who you bring in your cycle line connection system. It's a psychological interface in set location line conditions to your phenomenal position location in space-time location, anomaly locations of pi. Okay? So it's a very important understanding what you are doing through travel. You're doing everything through travel of the mind. Okay? So getting in position location is truly understanding all settings. Knowing exactly what you're doing is all provision. This helps you and always informs, guys. I'm just trying to help you out so you can help yourself know exactly how to use it through phenomena. Because it helps you and always informs to really recognize you in all levels of what you're doing. You're trying to figure out who you are. You're trying to figure out what you're doing through travel. You're trying to understand how to get these things through your mind. Your mind is a conception of knowledge, of intelligence, all through face recognition. I showed you many times how everything you have to go beyond the system through light to see the other side, which is all levels of a hologram. And every time you see identification of a hologram, you're seeing a face recognition of intelligence that you have to communicate with. Everything has face recognition, has to, because that's how everything is living in its organism. Whoa. Imagine that, guys, right? So everything can become structure. So you start with the inner line setting, and then you go to the outer core. Inner line, outer core, inner line, outer core. The inner line connection, inner light calculation system of GOD, and then the outer line calculation into the orbits. Orbit channels, orbit rotation, orbit line calculation, galaxies, space line setting, line track line calculations, millennium line position, universe, galaxies, all universe location settings. It's all direct location inside of you. So you have the inner line and the outer line to position location of protection. You're protecting your inner core and the outer line connection. The outer line is its environment. The outer line is its nature of space line connections. Yes, there's space of nature inside of you. You have to recognize what nature is. When I look outside, I'm looking from inside me. I'm not seeing things from outside and seeing things from inside. Everything is inside. So I have an inner line and an outer line. So you have an inner rim and you have an outer rim. So if you understand that track line calculation setting, then you understand the metric location of all levels set location. So it's a lot more understanding if you understand the space and time through pi, because it's all calculated system in position of box, in position location overlap, in position location of triangulation, in position location of circle line connections, in position locations into line calculation system, another triangulation, to another box line setting, to another circle line communication, to a digital line rotation of two set location settings, operation to a line position of moon set location setting, signal line and center line rotations into standby of the sun communication. It's all levels of imagination. So all you're doing is you're adding a projections of view of your life every single day until you get into that same day. See, that's why you're confused, because you don't understand what day it is. There's not a day, there's only seconds of a day. And that seconds of a day is set location of 24 ground setting. So that 24 ground setting is one central calculation, it's living all time lines all at once. The body stays in set position location line system. The mind is shifting everywhere all at once. Your mind is shifting everywhere all at once through clocking. One clocking. Not 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 clockings. One clocking. So you put in all clockings into one, to one geographical line finish high set. Right? Remember how Johnny has the position location in the background, the arbitrary location calculations to the tapestry line in position, calculation of this line interference, drive locations. Let's come in this mechanism location setting. Start with that calculation, right? So we got 3 lines in position location of. So that's 7 over 3 over 6 over 1. So 7 is line calculation. Oh, my throat. Recognition line calculation setting. Retract location setting interference. I added 7 in the triangulation. Interlining the calculation to the throat. So reline the calculation back into 7. Circle line communication system, triangulation, in position locations, all levels, closed signal line calculations at 7, 3, 6, 1. Now I'm back. See? The open signal of 7 was open through system on ground. That's why my throat was off. Do you understand how powerful you are at what you're doing through the location setting? Because numbers are not numbers. They're everything in mutation location at GOD. So the central calculation is 7, 3, and 6, and 1 comes in position locations into another operation in position of Stargate set lines in 12 DNA track location setting. Ooh-ah. So the triangulation travels its position to the center operation to its line calculation setting. All right, so we got in that position locations. Now we got in position location of 6, in position location of 4, in position location of 12, in position location of 8, in position location of 9, 8, 1, in position location of 1, 1, into 2, 1 line setting in rotation service. Okay, so understanding everything in a chronological order. I'm just showing you how powerful it is if you don't balance at the 7 in position of the 3, 6, 1. That's why my throat was off, because I didn't close the triangle. Okay, this is data communications of all levels of phenomenon. My throat changed, right? I didn't close the triangle, guys. You got to make sure everything is closed and measure. You got to understand everything to project location is security line calculation system by perimeters and parameters, or anything will change its location setting. Understanding what 6 is, understanding what 4 is, understanding what 12 is, understanding what all position locations, all levels of 8, 9, 8, 1. What is that? 9 over line cross lines, 8 line infinity in 1 line of direct location, another circle line rotation in a crop circle line connection system position of traction. All done through equations, the geometric line operation. So I set 3 set wave lines and center calculations into 2 gravity reshift line calculation settings in direct cohesion setting interference. So you got to understand these things, how it works for you. You are in operation. You control the outcome. Don't force it. Communicate with it. Try to understand it. So I'm just showing you an example of what can happen if you don't close the triangle set location of 7, 3, 6, 1. Your throat changes. Mechanics line, center line, interference line is a theta set. Your image changes. Recognition line calculation, your triangulation of your planet changes. High standard calculation of galaxy shift line changes. High standard calculation of crop circle line calculation of 6 and position of 4, line position of 91 changes. All because you're off signal, position, location, thought, direction, location, time. Okay? So what do you think of that? All through provision, right? So we all have to be careful what we structure. We all have to be careful what we do. We all have to be careful what we say in set locations now, especially with the team. So in signal, position, location, when it comes in line calculation system, you're up in now line send location is 64. Records location is 6 lines into moonline operation of sectors and vectors is now calculation streamline in its own geometric creation of simulation of pieces and puzzles put back together with high calculation and motion line calculation is human residence. So it's all set up now. Mañana line calculation setting in position of tomorrow, we come into line position location of 65. 60 of the heart line calculations of the moon operation computer adaptation surface, setting direct locations into all set lines of 2 and 9, percentage locations of pi in phenomenal set locations, security business locations into its energy march setting, which is extremely powerful, right? So there's a lot of things you have to be understood to understand location. But I just wanted to show you how powerful it is, what can happen if you don't set up a triangle and set location settings of numbers. It changes your throat. I just show you how powerful it is, what you can do. The position of direction is extremely powerful. Okay? So really pay attention to your letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols because you're dealing with it every single day through emotional setting. You set a 7-line communications to a box and set locations offset location. It's got to be in a box and it's got to be complete. It's got to be a protection location. It has to be all corners in lock system. You can't have anything open through chance. Okay? Because it affects everything through your atmosphere line connections of your hologram line connection of simulation. Through your throw patterns, anything like conditions of 0 to 12 set location foundation graph lines in your DNA structure locations. All right. So 7 and theta line interference in position locations into portal lines in dimensional line calculation. 7 travels in set location down by equation. All right. So all is good. Okay. You just got to learn how to balance these things out. Through your clocking, through your watches, through all calculations and how you perceive yourself through your thoughts. And everything that you see is in determination of what happens next. You change things so quick, so fast, just with your thought records location of space and time. I just show you what happened to my throat, right? Because the triangulation was off. It wasn't closed. So that's an open line setting. That's a gamma interference to my theta. Everything's connected inside, right? So if everything is connected inside, you have to understand how the mechanism works in position to all set locations. So stay in position. Yeah. Packaging received, Vega confirmed, all 12 huge reports completed, stamped, sealed into 2, and set to Vega confirmed. Beautiful. Excellent. See? Max knows what he's doing through set location line centers communication. Communication is number 1, guys. It's just understanding how to use it through your body, your consciousness. Because your body's trying to recognize you in your imagination. It's trying to understand you through the mind. It's trying to understand you through the brain. It's trying to understand you through all set connections. It's trying to understand you through manifestation. It's trying to understand you through balance. It's trying to understand you. Are you getting up or are you going to sleep? No, I got to go back to sleep. Why do I have to go back to sleep? I was already asleep, but now I'm not sleeping. Too confusing. Don't confuse your line settings. Know exactly what you want. What's your intention? You get up, you have a routine, you don't have a routine. Doesn't matter. Every day is the position locations to a different setting. So you're just coming into higher levels of involvement in the set locations, all timelines all at once. And it's a lot of confusion there because the mind and the position location of imagination is coming to thought record location of space and time, and it's trying to understand you through foundations of your DNA. right? Knowing exactly how to use yourself through CPU, through VR sets, or how to use your nanotechnology to higher set locations to your moon set location settings. Okay, this is what we have to understand to set location. Okay, all right, so everything's done. Okay, your senses are high rising more. Okay, your sensory line settings, your recognition location timelines, your lock line interference, line position location, your moon set location, high system. You have to understand the 60s of everything, so location of 60 to 70. It's all correlation setting to the moon. You're always going to be dealing with the sun. You're always going to be dealing with the moon. Okay, so you really have to understand how to use it through imagination, because the moon has to understand you through its hologram of structural locations. It has to understand you through communication. It has to understand. Did you understand the upgrades, the downloads, the uplinks, and upgrade settings? No, you're not communicating. Okay, so if you're not communicating, what's happening? Your moon doesn't understand you now. Your sun doesn't understand you. But even though you're awake, but you understand what the sun is. What is the sun? The sun is you. What is the moon? The moon is you. It's all levels of operation. It's all command setting, guys. You have to really understand how to use both through Flux Capacitor. Flux Capacitor are what makes time travel possible. I keep saying that. It's not Back to the Future. This is real space, real time. So in the position locations, everything you say is determined on what happens next. If you want to be hot, you're going to be hot. You want to be cold, you're going to be cold, because that's what you're telling your universe to do. Your universe is you. Your universe is adaptation of you. Your universe is your avatar you. Your universe is everything of clocking of you. Your universe is everything through manifestation abundance of you. Okay? Stay in the center all the time and you'll be fine. Don't read over left. Don't read over right. Stay in the center. Center, center, center. Here. Yin, yang, yin, yang. Here. Keep your hands together. Okay? Yin and yang. Okay? Cross the plate. Center position. Always stay in the center. Always, always, always. Okay? You stay in the center, you're more focused than anything else. And the first thing that you focus on is you. You don't focus on this. You don't focus on that. You focus on you. Nobody else is going to focus on you. You focus on you. Don't try to figure everything out. Just try to figure out yourself, which is all levels of you. Understanding you is being understood. I keep saying that over and over and over. So if you understand that, then you understand the application, why it's so important to see you on all levels of balance, of yin and yang, yin and yang, yin and yang. Right? So it's not yin and yang. Yin and yang is center of everything. Everything that you do, everything you say, everything you hear, everything you touch, everything you wear, everything that you connect to is balance. Balance. Yin and yang is not two, it's one. It's a collaboration of one. Okay? We got to understand that, and how that works for you is all formation location. Okay, this is going to give you a better understanding of how to use it through your thoughts. Thoughts of this, thoughts of that, thoughts of here, thoughts of there, protecting this, protecting that. You're always, 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 always protecting yourself inside. You protect yourself inside. You don't protect your outside because it doesn't exist. The inner line, the outer line, yes, not the positions of outline. So the outline is basically seeing a position locations of a phone, of just a phone. You're not in your mind now. You're out, which means you're lost in translation. Your phone doesn't understand you now. Okay? So you're setting up errors and codes and recognition line connection nice settings. You understand the electrical system. You understand the block line connections. You don't understand the metric meters. You understand the line position. You understand the battery calculations. You understand the phone reception. You understand the computer application location, position location traction to your phone. Because you're looking as a phone. You see it as a phone. It's not a phone. It's intelligence of its own operation. That's the only way you want to understand. If you look at a digital pad, you're not in position. If you look at your other phone, you're not in position. If you look at this, you're out of position. You have to go beyond. If you're looking at a computer, you're not connecting. If you're looking at a watch, you're not connecting. Everything's dimensional. Everything is astral connection, astral projections, astral line connection, eye system projection. Try to understand how to use in all ways and forms. So when you're looking outside, you're looking from outside in. So when you're looking from outside in, you're looking from all levels of inside out. So try to understand how to use force recognition locations of connection. So when I'm looking at something, I'm seeing a holographic line connection light system, a pen line calculation system, setting line calculation system. He's fixing the pole line rotation. There's a line communication of car reference of 4 wheels, line calculation setting to another car line interference, set location in the 4-line position of triangle, setting communication hologram structure line, streamline position, sky grid line calculation system to a plant, that plant calculations to its grass, line calculation to grounds, the operation surface locations to another red car line rotation interference, structure communication of 2-dimensional door line centers, 4-line rotation position, track line communication. That's what I see. Because I'm inside myself. I'm inside myself. So if you stay inside, you're all levels of inside. But if you see a phone as a phone, you are outside. This is an old program. If you see a phone as a phone, this is not a phone. This is intelligence of its own operation. You become the phone first. That's the body of consciousness. The body has to transform into the phone. And the only way to do that, it can't do it in a physical alignment. It can't do it in a physical world. It can't do it in a physical position. It's got to be in consciousness so it can morph into its own set location. You understand? So that's the importance that you have to get into. It's all magical. It's superior in all set location settings, guys. Recognizing these things gets you all modification to set locations. Okay, how you perceive and how you see things. It's all determination of what happens next through communication. Okay. All right, Captain, how's it going? Stay in the position. Yeah. 65. We're going to stop there, which is tomorrow setting line communication settings, right? Because you're in the 60s of the moon of 5-line position, timeline, sequence locations into the heart, which is extremely powerful, right? So your heart is going to expand more and more and more and more. When it expands more inside you, not outside, inside you. So it expands inside. It doesn't expand outside. Outside is the outer line calculation. The inside is the inner core line connections. So the heart is reaching you to a deeper core of you, of transportation, transformation, mutation, morphing. Okay? That's what this is. You go to a deeper core line setting. You're opening up more levels inside of you. The expansion is inside, not outside. So once you understand the expansion of evolution of your setting, everything comes out as a hologram. You start living the hologram of you from outside position of projection. Okay? That's how I'm able to see everything through a hologram. Because everything that I see is inside me. Okay? But you have to really, really get into that. Really try to understand that everything is inside of you. Everything. Everything that you can see, everything you touch, everything you connect to, everything you wear is inside of you of communication. Okay? It's all connected to vibration and frequencies and harmonics. Everybody has a vibration. What's your vibration at? Where is the vibration? You touch yourself. It's vibration. It's vibrating right now. What vibration is that? Where's the alpha wave line connections? Where's it set at? What's the foundation? What is it mechanism at? Where's the travel position locations? How do I understand what my body is? It's all levels of energy and frequencies, right? The energy line, the frequency is about understanding balance, and reaching those frequencies is all about understanding the space that's inside you. So you're reaching higher levels of space. And when you balance these things out, you're trying to understand the vibratory setting. It's got a balanced signal, okay? And it's got a beacon light. And it creates its own code, creates its own line connection, creates its own alignment, creates its own planet, circulation, rotation. So that's what it is going beyond the space, time, of pi through your mind, through imagination of phenomena. Phenomenon is how you get your abundance of manifestation. You're just using your imagination of coloration. It's balancing you. And the thing is, when you balance these things and you stop seeing things of what they are and go beyond of what they really are, then you get a better understanding how to use it in all observation. It's how you perceive. How do you see your phone? Do you see it as a phone? Just as a phone? Or do you see it as something more? It's going beyond, right? Circuit set line calculation setting. It's a computer operation of its own system, right? And then you use it. And it becomes yours because you changed the code setting. Your imagination is everything, information. Your imagination is everything through phenomena of its awareness of information. You're setting connections to a tone setting to know exactly what your phone is in observation. Because that's how you look at everything through scanning. You're scanning everything around you. But everything is connected inside you, right? So this is what we all have to get into. Okay? And understanding your phone is understanding the telepathy, how to communicate with it. What vibration is it at? Right? Mine's at mega, zeta, zeta, gamma, ultra, delta, alpha, and beta. I could change that right now if I want, but that's where it's at right now, as soon as I pick it up. So we all have to understand the connection, how it sets lines of communication of waves. The balance everything is understand the two set location of phones into my computer to my digital pad. Now that's a 4 central line calculations. 4 over pi, recognition of abundance through manifestations to vector of calculations of calculus. Okay? So yeah, get ready for Zoom set line calculation setting. All right, so everything's done in equation set location. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions on location settings. All right, very powerful class today. Congratulations, you're in 28 line settings phenomenal. In 64 set locations, location your moon. In operation of solar set location in the data port line streams. Is set locations to an expansion. All right, see you soon. Adios.